Hello curl friends, welcome to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Jody and it's great to have you join me today. It's a new year, it's a new Affordable Drugstore Series which I brought back, and I have a new haircut. I feel like there's a lot going on. It's been such a long time since I actually filmed a curly hair video because I take a break kind of from filming like the content part of it, or what am I trying to say? I take a break from filming the tutorials or the reviews during kind of November and December. I don't do that so much because I've worked ahead a little bit. So we're in a whole new element. I just feel like it might take me a little bit to get adjusted. So anyways, I just got done with washing my hair, I believe. I will show you clips of that though. But we are doing my first affordable drugstore video. Like I said, I put a poll out on Instagram and on YouTube. And as the poll progressed, pretty much Not Your Mother's Curl Talk won. So I've already done a Not Your Mother's Curl Talk. It was actually not quite my first video, I don't think. Maybe it was. Maybe it was. It was one of my very early videos. And I had used some of the other products from, like, it was their Tahitian Gardenia flower something shampoo and conditioner. And I used some of the Curl Talk products, like their cream and their gel and their mousse. And that was just when they had the level 3 gel. And I've also tested the level 5 gel as well. But they've come out with new products. And I asked if you guys were interested. And of course you guys were, so let's wet this hair down. While I am wetting it down, why don't we go over the shampoo and conditioner, what my thoughts are on those products. Here is just a little before shot of what my hair looks like before the washing process, and it is definitely stretched out. I did French braid my hair last night. I was playing around with trying to do that, but there's not a lot of buildup. There's not a lot of product residue, so it should be a pretty simple job for the shampoo and conditioner, I'm hoping. All right, moving on to the Bond Building Shampoo, which retails for $10.99. This silicone-free shampoo gently cleanses while delivering bond-building power to strengthen strands and revive curls. Trade in dry and damaged hair for stronger strands with reduced breakage, less frizz, and better curl definition. The directions say to lather and work into wet hair. Rinse thoroughly. For best results, follow up with the Curl Talk Bond Building Conditioner. Use as often as needed. Now let me say, this shampoo was far thicker and creamier than I had really expected. I was very surprised by that, and it did take a bit to work through my hair. First of all, I should say I had to emulsify it in my hands. I've never, that I can remember, had to emulsify a shampoo in my hands before adding it to my hair. A conditioner, yes, but a shampoo, I think this might be a first. It did take a while to really distribute it because it was so thick, but I could feel a slight lather. I just knew though that going in with a second cleanse would really get me more of the desired results that I was looking for. Now this shampoo is very moisturizing, I feel like. It almost felt like my hair felt clean, but it almost felt like it had a coating on it as well. And I know that may seem like counterintuitive, or how can it be both ways? And I'm just saying it felt so moisturizing, much more so than I expected from a strengthening shampoo. And really after this entire process, I'm not sure I felt any strengthening aspects to this. Now, this is one of those things that you probably had to test over a longer period of time. Maybe if you had some shedding issues going on, or breakage especially, maybe this would be something that you would notice more of a difference over a period of time. But as of this first impressions, I'm really not that impressed, sadly to say. I don't see the hype personally in either of these. But let's move on to the conditioner. Actually, the conditioner does improve things. This is the Curl Talk Bond Building Conditioner. It retails for $10.99. The silicone-free conditioner deeply hydrates and delivers bond power for less breakage and fewer split ends. Revive curls with better curl definition, moisture retention, and enhanced shine. The directions say to apply generously and evenly to hair, working through to the ends. Leave in for 2 to 3 minutes, then rinse thoroughly. For best results, pair with the Curl Talk Bond Building Shampoo and use as often as needed. Okay, so this conditioner, like I was saying, did improve my opinion of this Washday slightly. So it has fantastic slip. It may not seem like it because I am coming into quite a lot of tangles, but this is pretty normal for my hair as I'm putting the conditioner through my hair. This is typically what I have. And so I just felt like I was pretty effortlessly able to work my fingers through and break up the knots, and I just felt like it was really good for the slip. The moisture was good as well, but I wasn't really like craving a ton of moisture since the shampoo I felt like was a pretty moisturizing shampoo. Overall, this was a great conditioner. I really liked it. Now let's go back to the styling portion of this video. All right, now I have two stylers ready to go. I have the Not Your Mother's Curl Talk Moisturizing Lotion, which we'll be going in with first, and then we will follow up with the Curl Talk Defining Spray Gel. So I already have my hair kind of parted, roughly. It's actually pretty well parted. This just helps me, I feel like, when I have my hair parted in two sections to kind of get a more even application. So I'm like, one side isn't getting more than the other. And I feel like I want to go in with, I have to be careful because since having my hair cut, I obviously don't need quite as much product. I probably need about half as much product as I had been going in with. And that's just hard for me to adjust to. I heard this was kind of a thicker product too, so I'm not sure how much of this I'm actually going to use, if I'm going to use it all. Okay, yeah, this builds up on your hands. So it's not as much of a white cast as some of them, like I think of the AG Recoil. That definitely gives you a very dramatic white cast on your hands, very thick. But then I also think of the Cantu Curl Activator. I had done that one quite a while back. And I'm just going in at these, focusing on areas where my hair needs it the most. Typically right up here in these face framing pieces and on the ends a little bit, but my ends can get stringy. And then right here in the very back crown section. All right, I have gotten most of that off of my hands. You probably can't see it. If I would spray a little bit of water in my hands and kind of reactivate, work that in, I think I could get maybe a little bit more on my hair, but I don't feel like I need any more on my hair. I can kind of feel the product. So let's brush this through. By the way, this has a light perfumed scent, kind of a sweet, no, it's not floral, just a sweet perfumed scent is the best way I can describe it. Like I say, I can feel this slightly throughout my hair. Hope that doesn't mean that it's going to weigh my hair down, because I certainly don't want to weigh my hair down. You know what? I am out of practice, okay, you guys? When I introduce these products, I always go over like what the product says, what the specs of the product are, and I forgot to do that. So let's do that. This is the First Control Moisturizing Lotion. It retails for $10.99. Rich with moisture but never weighs your curls down, this formula helps control frizz, fight humidity, and seal split ends while protecting against 450-degree Fahrenheit heat. The directions say to section damp hair, evenly distribute the product, scrunch into hair, or use a diffuser for desired styling. So there you have it. What made me think about the fact that I hadn't introduced the product was that I had said that I hope this doesn't weigh my hair down. I remember when writing this stuff down or typing it out that it had said that, and I'm hoping it's going to stick to its word on that. All right, the product is definitely well distributed. Now I'm just going to kind of break up this part a little bit, but I'm going to section up my hair and brush style this through with my bounce curl brush. I'll meet you back when I have my hair sectioned up, and I'll kind of take you through a little bit of the brush styling process. All right, I have already gone into the back section and done that. So now we're working on the sides. And I feel like it's a little hard for me to judge the back section because I can't see super well how it's clumping, but that looks like it's clumping very well. Of course, I'll know a little bit more then as we work through this section, and then we're able to scrunch it, because that's another thing that I like to see. How is the bounce coming? And ultimately, the best way I can tell is at the end to see how my hair reacts once it's dry. But then you also have to figure in, you got the effects of the gel in there too. So far though, it looks like it's doing a good job. I like to see the clumping, and my hair doesn't feel like it's drying out significantly in between. I have re-wet the section before applying or before brush styling, but it's not like it's drying out. Like sometimes when I put a cream styler or a light leave-in, I feel like I have to go in more with water. This isn't one of those times. And the product does seem to have pretty good slip to it. I haven't noticed that being an issue. So the main thing I guess I'm wondering is, at this point, is how is the bounce back going to be? How's the spring going to be for my curls? Like, will this weigh it down? And then the other part, like, is this going to be too heavy for my hair? So, because I do tend to have more fine hair, as I've gotten more grays though, some of it tends to be more coarse, and that's still more up at like this section, but there's still also a lot of very fine hair up there as well. All right, right, then let's just do this little face framing area. I am going to, this has some of my finest hair here, even though those are actually technically gray there. All right, now let's scrunch. I do have, like, you can hear a little bit of the squash. I don't know if the microphone's gonna pick it up. There's not a ton of extra water, but I'd say just the right amount. Okay, so far I feel like I have, it looks like it is showing some curl memory to it, so I like that. All right, I'm going to finish brush styling this side and the top part of my hair, and we'll come back when it's time to apply my gel. All right, just scrunching that final section and kind of all over. Of course, we'll do more scrunching as we get the gel in. Now for the gel, I'm a little bit nervous because if you know me in the past, I've talked about not caring for spray gels. I used to use a spray gel like a long time ago before I got into trying all different kinds of curly hair products. And since that time, I've gladly left it behind in a sense. I am trying to finish it off just by using it to like kind of keep some baby hairs tucked away or things like that. But I generally not care for spray gels because of the application. Like I don't want to spray that into my hair anymore because of that directness. Of course, we're going to test the spray just to see how direct it is or isn't. But I just don't think it's the best type of application for a gel just to directly spray that into your hair. But let's introduce this product. Let's learn a little bit more about it before we apply it. This is the Curl Talk Defining Spray Gel. It retails for $10.99. This lightweight, stronghold spray gel evenly applies onto waves and curls to effortlessly control frizz, enhance in shape, and create a natural bounce without stickiness, buildup, or weighing your hair down. The directions say to spray on clean, damp curls and scrunch in. Style as usual. So even though the directions say to spray on to clean, damp, wet curls, clean, damp curls, they want you to spray it on your hair. We are going to spray it on my hand. Like I said, especially to test the bottle, to test the spray. So got to prime the pump. It does have a very fine mist. That is probably the finest mist I have ever seen of a gel. Let's just spray it. Oh, that is like water. Okay, that is like, I changed my mind. I changed my mind. Okay, I just wanted to wipe that off of my hands a bit here. Maybe I should have done this a little bit more section by section. This is a first impressions, by the way. If you guys weren't catching on to that, sometimes I say that earlier on in the video than other times, but let me try to get like this front. Let me kind of gather up a little bit of my hair here. This might be kind of messing things up a little bit, but I want to focus it on the bottom half of my hair. It says lightweight, strong hold. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, I'm scrunching this. This goes against everything that I really want to do with a gel, but like I said, that was so liquidy, so lightweight. I thought it would be more like my Garnier Fructis one. Try and get the underside here like I did on the other one. I thought it would be more like my Garnier Fructis gel, and this is definitely not like that at all. I'm gonna get some on this crown section. I might have already done that. Maybe I don't want to get too much. Okay, let's let down then this little clippy of hair, and then let's get these sections. And once again, scrunch again. What is your guys, if you tried these products or if you tried any of the Not Your Mother's Curl Talk products, what are your favorite ones? Like, do you like any of the shampoo and conditioner? Because I tried the Bond shampoo and conditioner, but I believe they have another like regular shampoo and conditioner. I feel like I might get a little bit of frizz right up in this spot, so I'm gonna spray a little bit there. Just kind of run my fingers on that, smoothing some stuff down. Okay. It doesn't feel like anything in my hair. Like all I can tell is the lotion that I initially had on, but this gel doesn't feel like anything in my hair. And that makes me nervous kind of, but also maybe it's a little bit promising in the same sense. I guess the best way we're going to know is just by finishing up this hairstyle. So let me put my wet plop on. All right, if you're new here to my channel, I've described this plenty of times, but if you're new, I do like to put a wet plop on as I finish my styling process. Just leave it on for like 10, maybe 15 minutes, probably more likely 10. And I just feel like it helps my curls absorb the product a little bit better. And then I feel like I get more bounce and lift to my hair. Some people prefer to dry plop, which is kind of the same thing. I have on a double shower cap, so I have like one of those disposable ones, which I actually use multiple times. And then I have this more like structured shower cap, I want to say. And this is how I wet plop. Now, like I said, some people prefer to dry plop, which is where you take like your t-shirt towel, which is what I use, rather than a microfiber towel that some people prefer to use. But either way, you could dry plop with those type of things. And basically the same thing. Once you're done styling, you wrap your hair up in that, and you just kind of absorb some of the extra product, some of the extra moisture. So when you're diffusing, it's not going to take as long. That's one of the big differences. My hair isn't losing any of the moisture really. It's retaining it at this point mixed with the product. And I can't really say, like I've done dry plopping a couple times, but I just always go back to this. This is one that I just feel like always works better for my hair. So I recommend just playing around with it, seeing what you like better and going from there. All right, like I said, I'm going to leave this on about 10 minutes and I'll diffuse and I'll come back and I'll show you the results. All right, so I am back with my hair fully diffused. Let's take a look at what it's looking like. I'll show you the back here as well. And we'll get into my thoughts here in a minute. All right, so let's get into my thoughts on my hair. I have decent curl definition. Like the curls are clumped pretty well, but I also have a significant amount of frizz. And we'll get into why I think I have this here in a minute, because it is kind of isolated. I mean, I do have halo frizz all throughout my hair. I don't know how well, probably the camera isn't picking it up. But I do have halo frizz all throughout my hair here. The shine looks decent and natural. I can appreciate that. My hair feels pretty soft. Yeah, it feels very soft. And the moisture level, it feels, it's an odd thing because like, I feel like it's kind of heavy. And I also feel as though like the ends aren't as moisturized as I would like them to be. So let's get into all of this a little bit more detail. So as I said, the curl clumps are there, but I do have frizz. And I think maybe part of that might have been due to my application. I think the curl cream did well as far as clumping my curls. I liked what I saw as I was brushing that through. But when it came to the gel, I probably should have brushed this through. Like I said, this is a first impressions, so I wasn't sure what to expect with this. And I had assumed it was going to be a little bit thicker gel that I could spray into my hands and then smooth over my hair. But upon spraying it out the first time and seeing how thin that was, like it was a watery mist. And even when it was in my hands, it was like running down my hands and everything like that. So I thought, okay, let's reassess how we're going to apply this. And I'd already had my hair all brush styled, clipped some stuff up. You guys saw it all. But anyways, I just think maybe if I would have brush styled this through, it might have been a little bit better as far as the coverage. So what I think happened here was I just missed the spot somehow. So that is my bad, but it doesn't excuse like all the other frizz. I do feel like I have a decent amount of halo frizz all throughout my hair that just shouldn't be there maybe quite this early or quite this much. Now, as far as like the moisture and the body to my hair, like I feel like my hair doesn't have much body. I feel like it doesn't have much volume. And I will say, since having my hair cut, which I got this cut in mid-November, I've been playing around with other products, some new, some that I've used for quite some time. And my hair has had significantly more volume since having about 8 inches cut off of it. And so this is not, like I am volume challenged today. This is kind of flat hair for me, especially for just recently having it washed. Usually I'll lose a little volume as like the day progresses and everything like that, but this is just freshly styled and everything like that. So I should still have more volume. So I feel like my curls are clumped, but they're not springing back as much as I want. And therefore I'm not getting the volume and fullness that I want. And for these products, a lot of them have protein in it. I know the gel has it. I know the shampoo and conditioner have it as well. I looked at rice amino acids are definitely in there. There might be some other proteins that I don't recognize as easily. The only one I'm not sure that I found a protein for was this lotion. Now let's get into the moisture of my hair because it's a little bit tricky. My hair feels a little bit over moisturized in the sense that I have like no volume. I feel like it's very lackluster, and we'll get more into details there in a minute. But I also feel like my ends don't feel super moisturized, or don't feel as moisturized as they should feel for the way the rest of my hair, like the root area of my hair feels like, I guess. The root area of my hair definitely feels more moisturized. And yes, I did target it up here a little bit because that's typically one of my dry areas. This whole face framing area is typically one of my drier areas. It gets more used and abused and everything like that. It's exposed more than some of these under layers are like this. But still, like all throughout my hair, the root area of my hair just feels kind of weighed down, and I don't particularly like that. But the ends don't feel as plump. Like they feel like they might dry out in another day or two. So maybe not by tomorrow, but like after that, I feel like they might be feeling like they will dry out. So I'm a little concerned about that. I'm going to check back tomorrow and see how these products have held up and everything. But I do want to do one thing here. I do want to try to spray a little bit of this gel over this section and just see if it can recover a little bit. I should get my water out here. I don't have my water. I'll be right back. All right, so let's try to isolate this. I mean, this one's kind of wonky too. We'll put them all together. Give them a little makeover, hopefully. I should probably go diffuse this bit too when I'm done. All right, it's not very smooth. It's not smoothing out. It's like the gel is kind of freezing things up. I hope I didn't make this worse. Oh, I'll be really mad if I did. And I'm just going to kind of twirl this around my finger here. Okay, all this to say, while I'm holding this up here for a bit to try to form the curl, like I said, I'll diffuse this off camera and we'll come back and see how these results are tomorrow. But all this to say is I will go over these products more individually tomorrow, ones I like, what I like about them, what I don't like, and just you'll get a look at what second day hair is looking like. So scrunch that, go diffuse that, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, curl friends, I am here for day 2 with the Not Your Mother's Curl Talk products that I haven't tried already in past. So let's take a look at what my hair looks like. And I'm going to tell you more details as to what I like or don't like about each of these products and who I think they might be best for. And let me show you the back of my hair as well. Okay, so overall, I'm struggling to appreciate this wash day. And I think I had such different expectations for it than how it actually turned out. It's not like it's terrible, but my expectations were one place and my results were another place. So let's get into these products individually and who I think they're best for. This shampoo is a very moisturizing, thick, rich shampoo. I think it's better for someone with maybe higher porosity hair, someone with more dry hair, maybe more coarse hair. But for my finer hair, this was not the best choice, I feel like. And I just feel like this started the weighed down results that I had later as well. I don't think it was the only thing that caused it, but I do think maybe if I had a stronger, more deeper cleanse, it's not like my hair wasn't clean when I was finished, but I almost felt like a producty feeling even after I rinsed this out. And I rinsed this out good. I took a long time to rinse this out. It's not my favorite. Actually, I don't care for this one at all, but that's just my personal opinion. Like I said, those other people that I mentioned who it might be better for might have better results. I know a lot of people do like the shampoo and conditioner. I'm just not one of them. Now, this conditioner I did actually like. I did enjoy it. It had very high slip. I just feel like it would have been better paired with a stronger cleansing shampoo or a shampoo that felt like that didn't leave anything behind. The shampoo that wasn't so moisturizing, a shampoo that didn't feel like it left a residue, such as the corresponding bond building shampoo. Basically, I think I would appreciate this a lot more if it was just with one of my regular shampoos. That's just my personal opinion. I think this would be great for any hair type. I just didn't like the shampoo I paired it with. Now, for the lotion, I was not impressed with this in the sense that it didn't live up to the claims that it said it was supposed to. It said it was supposed to provide rich moisture but never weigh your curls down. The formula helps control frizz and fight humidity and seal split ends while protecting against 450 degree heat. Okay, I can't tell about the 450 degree heat. My ends do feel good. I said yesterday how my ends felt a little dry. I thought that was odd, that maybe it might start feeling more dry as the day progressed yesterday into today. No, my hair feels fully moisturized and it feels heavy. It feels weighed down. There's nothing lightweight about this. And for my finer hair, like I said, I do have areas that are getting more coarse, but for my hair, I either went in with too much, and this is one of the things, like I didn't test these products before. I will be the first to admit that. And that's usually what I do for some brands. That's just, I tend to do this more for like my Affordable Drugstore series. I only have so much time to be able to test different products out, so I will be upfront with you when I don't do that. But this one definitely, I feel like I could have maybe gone in with less. I didn't really go in with that much, but I maybe could have gone in with less. It's just the fact that it says it's going to be lightweight or weightless. That was not the case. Maybe weightless for very coarse hair, but it gives no indication in here that it is meant for just coarse hair. So that's who I think it would be best for. Someone with much more coarse hair, medium to coarse hair, and someone with higher porosity possibly. But for me, this was just not the case. If you have very fine hair, I would steer clear of this. Go for the like spray leave-in conditioner. I think that would be a better option. Now for the last product, the defining spray gel. This one, it says it's supposed to provide, it gives a 4 out of 5 stronghold. I don't know who was labeling that. Who tried that and said, oh yeah, that's definitely a stronger hold. Please? Let's reconsider this. This is a very lightweight hold in my opinion. My curls have stretched out more, they've gotten wonky, and I just slept in them. You know, that's all I did. I didn't do anything crazy. I did go on a walk yesterday, but the weather conditions were perfectly fine. I didn't need a hood up. It wasn't like I was like scrunching them down or anything like that, putting them in a weird position. But I just feel like everything has come down, and that's probably the combination of, you know, both of these, this one weighing the hair down more, this one just not having the hold to keep the curls bouncy and everything like that. And with all these products, or a lot of them having the proteins in them, my hair just does not have the bounce to the curls like I'm used to. I do think this would be really good for someone with very, very fine hair. Those of you who struggle with your curls falling flat, I can't guarantee this is going to give them the structure, but this shouldn't weigh them down in that case, if you know what I mean. But for anyone with a medium or coarser texture, this probably won't do anything for you. And I do have a significant more frizz that has developed and everything here. I know you can see a little bit of it up there, but it's all throughout. If I flip my hair on the other side, there's definitely a bunch of frizz. The camera's just not picking it up as well as the naked eye does, but you just have to believe me that it's there. Now, I'm not trying to gripe on Not Your Mother's Curl Talk in particular, but I do think like their first products that they launched were better than these newer launches. I haven't tried the custard. I do remember that saying that it was an elongating product, and so I steered clear of that one. I just thought that probably wasn't what my finer curls needed. But like I said, it doesn't look terrible. It just doesn't match the description that the products say. My hair did get weighed down, and I don't think that this product is stronghold. So that's that. And the shampoo, I really didn't care for that. I don't think it meets my hair's needs. Let me know if you guys have a different opinion, if you try these or if you're interested in trying these. Like I said, there are people that they're probably more suited for. I was just not that person. But let me know what you think of this in the comments down below. And until I see you again in the next video, have a great day. Bye.